the blacks adding value to mulberry and starfruit. Guys, they are making wine.
After the fermentation, it goes to another process.
And the process.
Where that process, you have to keep it 3 to 6 months.
Before you
even think of bottling anything. Basically, our wine is naturally organic. No any food color added to it. Because already both fruits, the star fruit, the mulberry fruit, have color. So we're comfortable with that.
It's a brand new episode of NTV Seeds of Gold, and tonight we are in Mukono district at Grainpulse Limited, a company that has been and still is playing a great role in how Uganda grows its food, soil fertility, sustainability since 2018. Grainpulse has been blending and producing crop-specific fertilizers for over 22 crops. And since 2020, they have also been producing animal feed under the Halisi brand, supporting both crop farmers and livestock keepers across the country. Tonight, however, our focus is on the fertilizers, how they work, how they affect our soils and climate, and what farmers should know in order to farm better, smarter, and more profitably. Let's hear from the team at Grainpulse. This is a very special episode proudly brought to you by Grainpulse Limited. We get to meet the team, and first on the lineup is Christopher, the retail sales lead. Now, of course, he is very responsible of marketing the company, so we get to know it. We get to know what exactly they do and how much they can help us and our farmers. So, Chris, it's nice to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
Yes. You're new to my ears.
Yeah.
And to my eyes.
Yeah.
Now, for the viewers that are also meeting you for the first time, just tell us a little bit about Grainpulse. Who are you? What problems are you solving for our farmers? Because that's what we are all about, the gold in the seed.
My name is Christopher Nyenje, and I'm the retail sales lead here at Grainpulse Limited. Grainpulse is an agri-business here in Uganda that is focusing on improving farm yields. We mainly impact farmers through about 3 pillars. The first one is the fertilizer pillar, where we do produce blended fertilizer locally here in Uganda. We are the only blending facility in Uganda, and our capacity is to blend 300,000 metric tons of fertilizer annually. For your information, Uganda as a country actually uses less than 200,000 tons of fertilizer annually. So we are able to do crop-specific fertilizers. By that, I mean that each and every crop, we do assess its needs and produce a fertilizer specifically for it. We did this in conjunction with our friends at NARO, the people who are in charge of agricultural research, together with our scientists, plus our parent company scientists based in Germany. And we assessed the needs of each and every crop within Uganda. So we are able to blend for 22 crops. Talk about coffee, we do coffee-specific fertilizer. Talk about maize, we do maize-specific fertilizer, up to 22 crops. So that is who Grainpulse are on the coffee pillar. Then we also do produce animal feed. Our animal feed line is called Halisi. Halisi is mainly produced in both complete and concentrate feeds. Complete feeds, we have our starter, we have our grower, and then on the concentrate side, we produce for both layers, broilers, and also for the pigs. So we mainly focus on improving the farm yields. That's why we decided to design concentrates. When it comes to animal feed, we do design concentrates, and then for fertilizer, we do design the blends to just fit in what the farmers actually do need.
I see. Now, today we are going to put a great deal of our focus on the fertilizers. Your statistics tells us we really need help there, don't we? However, there are myths. Many people believe the fertilizers just mess up the soil. So now tell the truth, it will set you free.
Thank you. About fertilizers, Uganda as a country, we are one of the lowest users of fertilizers in the world. We are using 3 kilograms per hectare. If you compare with our neighbors, Kenya, they are using 50 kilograms per hectare. The global average is 130 kilograms per hectare. What does that mean? Uganda as a country, we are underusing fertilizers, or we are very low in terms of fertilizer usage. Viewers out there will agree with me. Today, if you go to Kalere market, Nakawa market, it is not unusual for the traders there to tell you they are waiting for trucks coming from Kenya to bring tomatoes, to bring Irish potatoes. The reason is simple. Kenya is using more fertilizer than us. And then the other thing that we have also noted is, as a country, we don't know actually how to use fertilizers. And that goes to your question of whether the fertilizers actually do spoil the soils. It is the usage. Fertilizer has principles that we follow. The fertilizer has to be the right fertilizer. It has to be placed at in the right place around the crop. Then it also has to be at the right time. Those are some of the principles that we do follow when we are talking about fertilizer usage. So, to answer you directly, yes, fertilizers can do spoil the soil, but it is how you use them that leads to that. For example, I've told you about our crop-specific fertilizers. If I give coffee just what it needs, it will be able to consume it all. However, if I just pick any fertilizer that I get off the shelf and I give it to coffee, chances are high the coffee will only utilize what it needs. For example, if I just give coffee urea or DAP, it will just use what it needs from what I've given it, and it will leave the rest in the soil, which becomes a residue in the end, spoiling our soils. But if you do use the crop specifics that we are preaching, or that we're encouraging the farmers to use, the crop will just be able to utilize each and everything you've given it, and in the end, there will be no destroying of our soils.
Of soils. Ah, well.
Yeah.
We'll see. But now we've got people whose soils are damaged, and they're probably out there thinking, so can Grainpulse like help me revitalize my soil? If I go and buy the crop-specific fertilizer, would it help me? Would it fix, the mess that I've made?
Yeah, thank you. For that, the first step would be to test those soils. We do soil testing services. So I would encourage you that if you think your soils have a problem, first do a soil test so that you can get to know which nutrients are lacking, which ones are there in excess. So this will help you so that as we blend for you a fertilizer, or as we recommend a fertilizer for you to use, you're only putting in what you already don't have, especially in excess. For example, in Uganda, we know that we have a huge potassium deficiency as a country. Actually, our potassium requirement is beyond 700,000 tons per annum as a country if we are to actually do produce correctly. So what happens is, if you do a soil test, you might see that you actually have some potassium in it. But that potassium might not be in a format that enables the crop to take it up. So we also do that assessment and we advise accordingly. That's why for that farmer, it would be very important to get in touch with us. We do the soil testing and then recommend the best suited fertilizer that will help to revitalize the soil.
And sometimes you might be compelled to just come up with a different blend just for them.
Yes, we definitely do that, but there is a but. There is a but, because at the end of the day, it has to be commercially viable. So we happen to do that for the big farms.
Sometimes
or at least if you can be able to take 20 tons and above, then we can be able to specially tailor a blend for you that will be able to get you the best production.
Well, that makes utter sense. That makes utter sense. Now, speaking of soil and revitalizing soil, it brings me to another, issue that is looming over us worldwide, by the way, climate change. There is a nexus between, we've got a nexus of climate change and fertilizers. What's the relationship?
Thank you very much on that. What happens is climate change is real. I think for this year, 2025, we've all experienced it, especially in the month of November. Usually in November, we usually expect a lot of rain. But what happened was a serious drought. But again, we come in with what we call climate smart inputs. Farmers need to now adopt climate smart inputs. We are talking about increasing, for example, the amount of potassium in your fertilizers. If you go to the shop, don't just say, please, I want NPK. Think about what NPK you're applying. For example, I will tell you that having a higher percentage of potassium in your fertilizers will help to reduce on the impact of climate change. This is science now. If you go, even if you have your phone there, you can Google this. Potassium does increase the drought resistance of crops. So that's why as Grainpulse, we've come up not only with these blends, but we also know that there are farmers out there who are saying, for me, I'm using DAP or I'm using urea. We are telling them it's okay. you don't need, if you're stuck with your DAP or urea, we have another product for you that you can add to that DAP and urea so that it can help to your crop to be drought resistant, but also increasing on the yield. And that's the product called Konkali. We have it here as Grainpulse. And we know that farmers that have used it over the last season, their yields haven't been much affected like those who actually didn't use it. But for those that are already using our blends, they don't need to add this Konkali. Yes, please.
We are going to take a very short commercial break, and when we return, we can listen more to Christopher and his team. Don't go away. NPK is the word, well, it's the acronym I have been hearing over and over and over. For clarity, what is NPK in its wholeness, really?
Okay, thank you. NPK is an acronym for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So globally, that is how we categorize fertilizers that have those three components. But those three components are also the primary nutrients that a crop needs for it to be able to grow and give us the production that we always expect, or that they should be giving us. So the N stands for the nitrogen. Nitrogen can have many sources. Most of the farmers know about urea. They know about CAN, CAN. All those are sources of nitrogen. And then they also know about AMS, or ammonium sulfate. That is also another source of nitrogen. P stands for phosphorus. Farmers know about DAP, which is DAP, and TSP plus SSP. Those are the other sources of phosphorus that farmers out there know, and they use as sources of phosphorus. The K stands for potassium. Potassium is some of the sources of potassium. Like I've said, we have Konkali, then we have muriate of potash, or MOP, and SOP, plus many others. But the challenge we currently have in Uganda is that we have taken a lot of effort on the N and P. So most of our soils will feed them with a lot of N and P because that's what's always popular on the market. But the K is very lacking. That's why as Grainpulse we said, instead of farmers now having to look for the N, for the P, for the K separately, let's give them a complete package, which is the blending that we do. So you give them the complete package that has the N, P, and K, and it is specific to each and every crop that they would want to grow. Yes, please.
I see. When you keep saying the word global, globally this is what it, but there's something unique about your fertilizer, right?
Yes.
And what's that?
Thank you once again. So the uniqueness about our fertilizer is the crop specificity. The fact that for each and every crop, we are giving you a fertilizer that has been researched to just give that crop what it needs. The coffee farmers in Masaka will give you testimonies. The maize growers in Mubenda and Mitiana can give testimonies what our maize blend has done to them. The tea growers in Ishaka can tell you what our tea blend has done for them. The Irish growers in Kabale can tell you what our Irish blend has done for them. So with those testimonies, we have come to see that actually what we are doing works, because each and every crop you cannot feed, even if you have animals, you cannot give your chicken, goat, and cows the same food. So unfortunately, that's what we are doing to our crops initially. We'd just get urea and you give all your crops urea. You get CAN, you give all your crops CAN. But science doesn't work like that. We said, no, let's sit down and tailor crop-specific fertilizers. And so far, it is working excellently well for the farmers out there.
Okay, I see. Well, that works. You've mentioned testimonials and particular regions. I'm from the East. We are also into Irish and coffee. Different kind of coffee. What we do the coffee. Yes. Would that work? What you're giving the farmers in Masaka and Choteda for their Robusta, would that work for us in Bugisu for our Arabica? Would it work for our kind of Irish vis-a-vis Kabale's kind of Irish?
Thank you. Yes, definitely it would work. The coffee fertilizer, actually it's picking up in Bugisu. Of course, Masaka probably went ahead, but
we are judging you.
It's now picking up. It's picking up in Bugisu. and I can assure you it will work the same way it's working for other regions. However, we always go on and do those soil tests, so that in case there are any changes that we need to make, we have the blending facility. We can be able to amend and give you exactly what's needed for your, for your region. And talking about the East, we are also supporting rice farmers there.
Thank
in
you.
Butaleja.
You are too kind.
Exactly. Yeah, so they are also enjoying the blended fertilizer.
To be fair, Butaleja has been feeding nations, not just Uganda, since 1945.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know,
that's amazing.
So keep coming, keep this. But you are right. The soil in Bugisu, for one, is a lot different, significantly different compared to Masaka and Chotela. So it should be easier to deal with, no?
Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is.
It should be a lot easier for you. Now, what, there's always that thing, like you said, the soil is going to get messed up because of how we are using the fertilizers.
Exactly.
We should know when to use the fertilizers. We should know when not to use the fertilizers. How much of the fertilizers to use. Is there a way you can crump up all your wisdom about usage of said fertilizer into, a straightforward message to our viewers, aspiring farmers, already, farmers that have lost so much because of the mistakes they keep making? Is there some advice you'd give them?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. The first thing is farmers need to know is that our crops are different. For me, that's the starting point. Our crops are different. So please don't think about feeding tea with the same fertilizer that you'll feed your coffee on. Tea, for example, or any other crop where we harvest the leaves. If you're going to harvest the leaves, then in blending or in giving you the fertilizer that you need, we shall give you a lot more nitrogen, because leaves are the nitrogen is the one that causes a lot of vegetative growth. This is very important for the farmers. If you're going to harvest fruit, I'm talking about coffee, cocoa, avocados, as long as what you're going to harvest from your garden is a fruit, then when you go to the shop, make sure that whichever NPK they are giving you has a lot more potassium than the other things.
Yeah.
That's how we differentiate. If you're going to harvest Irish potato, the same thing. So look at what do I get from the garden. That will determine, when you look at the NPK, what should be higher than the other.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, whichever other nutrients you're buying, you'll be wasting your money. It's very important for you to know, like I've said, for tea, all nakati. If I'm going to grow nakati, then I should look for a fertilizer that has a lot more nitrogen, because nitrogen causes the vegetative growth.
Yeah.
That's the message I would want farmers to have stick in their heads. Yeah.
When we get all fancy with our fertilizers, are you saying that our people back at home can get rid of their cow dung and the rabbit urine and chicken droppings like my colleagues use? So are you saying that shouldn't work anymore?
Thank you. Actually, we do encourage people to continue to use that. And Grainpulse as a company, we have also produced organic fertilizers. You'll see it's called Pronova. We work with, again, one of our partners from Germany called Marula Protein, and we do produce organic fertilizer. So what happens is, the way sustainable agriculture, we are now talking about sustainable agriculture, is you need to feed both the soil and the crop. So organic fertilizer feeds the soil. It feeds your soil.
Not necessarily the crop.
Not necessarily the crop. And the reason for that is, for example, if I'm going to get 1 ton of coffee from my 1 acre of land, chances are high that if I'm going to harvest that 1 ton, I'll be harvesting a lot of the NPK.
Yeah.
So that means my organic, remember for organic, your NPK composition there is quite low. But it actually does take care of, the organic does take care of the soil. So what we say is organic improves the environment within which this inorganic works.
Yeah.
So this inorganic feeds the crop, so it boosts your harvest greatly, and then your organic actually improves your soil, which in the inorganic feeds through. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It makes utter sense to me.
Yes, yes.
Let's hope it makes sense to them.
I hope it does. I can repeat for them.
We will make sure it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We will make sure it makes sense.
Yeah.
The company is about 7 years old.
Yes.
Impressive work you've already done thus far in Uganda.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there are future aspirations. Where do we see Grainpulse going
Okay.
forward?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Grainpulse, we see ourselves in the future touching lives of a lot more farmers and improving their incomes. For maize farmers, for example, you're talking about 3.5 to 4 tons per acre in terms of yield. So as Grainpulse, we would be happy if most of the farmers in Uganda are able to achieve that, because actually that will be able to improve their lives, which we are very pertinent about.
Of course.
Same applies to coffee. We see ourselves greatly impacting a lot more coffee farmers, plus all other farmers out there as a company. So we realize that this is going to be a long journey, because like I said at the start, we are talking about a country that is using only 3 kilograms per hectare. So as Grainpulse, we are really working hard to at least push that to 20 kilograms per hectare. Maybe in the next 20 years, if we can be able to reach 20 kilograms per hectare as a country, as Grainpulse, we shall be glad. And this also goes to our other players, or I'd want to call them competitors out there in the market. We need to work on this together. Because at the end of the day, if an average Ugandan farmer is using 20 kilograms per hectare, all the fertilizer companies would be having more business here. But Uganda as a country, we shall also be able to export more. Talking about that again, one of our neighbors here, Tanzania, recently with the government subsidy, they increased their fertilizer usage. And in the end, Tanzania became the #2 grain producer in Africa, second to only Nigeria. So you can see what fertilizer can do. So as Grainpulse, we are really focused on ensuring that we increase the fertilizer usage per hectare in Uganda. And we know that that will obviously have ripple-off effects in terms of improving the general livelihoods of Ugandans.
And quite frankly, if they are using up to 3 kilograms only, imagine what they can have if they use more.
Yeah, exactly.
With what Uganda is giving right now.
Exactly. And I know sometimes people say that it is our national anthem, because in the national anthem we say the fertile land that feeds us grows naturally. But we are telling people the neighbors that have poorer soils are producing more than us.
Because they figured it out.
Yes, because the soils, the fact of the matter is the soils are depleted. So we need to do something about it. And that's what Grainpulse is pushing. Yeah, again, talking about the new technologies that we have come up with as Grainpulse, in line with the climate change, we have come up with the product I've hinted on, Konkali, which is helping farmers to be able to have their crops be more drought resilient. And we have seen, for example, in the recent drought that happened in November, we saw that farmers that actually applied that in addition to the DAP or urea, their crops didn't suffer the drought as much as those who did not. But also the other aspect in terms of the aspirations, we have also managed to blend our inorganic with the organic to form what we call an organo-mineral. So now you're getting both ends of the world. The person who was saying, me, I want organic, but I also want inorganic. We also have a solution for you that is in an organo-mineral. Again, that one is through our collaboration with our colleagues from Marula Protein. And that is the Pronova inorganic, but also organic fertilizers that we have on the market.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. Now, quite often a farmer will ask us, they do call in and say, the guy you showed yesterday on TV, can we go learn a thing or two? Can we go there and get a bit of training and all? Is that something that you offer, or is it just because while we come in, we see lots of flyers? You've taken time to educate the farmers. Do you go an extra mile when it comes to sensitization?
Yes, that's true. One of the sensitizations we are doing is here.
Yes, I see you.
Being with you on this show, we know that farmers are out there watching, and we know that they are picking a lot of information. But also, last mile, we do the farmer trainings out in the communities. Usually, we do those at the start of the season. Now, our next season is in March. So January, February, we shall be doing farmer trainings, but also at our different hubs. We have over 20 hubs across the country, here at the factory, also at our head office in Bugolobi industrial area. We do receive farmers and we share the knowledge free of charge. Yes, please.
I see.
Yeah.
So they speak about sensitization. No wonder this special episode is proudly brought to you by Grainpulse Limited. We are going to take a very short commercial break, and when we return, we can listen more to Christopher and his team making chemistry seem interesting. Welcome back to the show. I am so glad that you're still with us. Those just joining in, do scan the QR code on your TV and join the conversation, catch up and see what more we can learn about fertilizers. Now, we are at the processing unit, which is pretty much where the business really begins. And I am with a lady of STEM. The reason that women like to say, well, we can do what a man can do. Because guys, I am with the plant manager and she's the overseer. If she doesn't say that goes, then it doesn't go. Hope it is nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Now, this, what you are doing here is amazing. We have lost so much when it comes to our soils. To have the perfect blend of fertilizers is a dream come true for farmers in Uganda. Now, you are the one person that oversees our processing and our warehouse. Just give us a little bit of who you are and what exactly goes on here when it comes to blending the fertilizers.
I am Hope Sagalika, the plant operator here at the fertilizer blending facility. Our blending process starts with the feeding. And when I talk of the feeding, it's putting the raw materials that we need for our product into the holding bins. Yes, we have different holding bins that hold different materials.
Yeah.
The raw materials are the NPK ingredients. So NPK is the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So we feed one holding bin with the nitrogen source,
Yeah.
feed another holding bin with the phosphorus source, and then the other with the potassium source. These holding bins all have the load cells attached at the bottom that communicate the weights that are being added and removed from the From the holding bins.
So when the truck is putting in, does it have a specific weight it's working with, or you're just pouring into the holding bin?
Usually, when we are producing small quantities, we calculate what is to be fed. But if we are dealing with big volumes, like a whole day production,
Yeah.
the feeding is continuous. So here, the quantities being fed are being tracked at the at our scale display.
Yeah.
Yes, this one. Yes. So now, after the feeding, we go on to the programmer, the human machine interface,
Yeah.
where we do the computations and then run the line.
So the computations would be the quantities of the different ingredients.
Yes, feeding in the quantities, selecting the holding bins, highlighting which raw materials you've fed in the different holding bins,
Yeah.
and then also inputting the quantities that you want to draw from the different holding bins. Yes, to make the product.
I see. Now we're looking at blending fertilizers for over 22 crops.
Yes.
Do you first say, you know what, let's first do maize, clean out the whole system, and then say, now let's do let's do coffee, let's do whatever, bananas, tomatoes, yes. So do we do a whole thing at once and say we're done with the tomatoes, next is maize, we're done with this? Or do we have the same ingredients but with just a little, like something tweaked, that, you know, to make it a little bit different? Like for the tomatoes, we've added something a little bit different for the maize. Or are we doing everything at once?
We have crops that share the raw materials. For those, when we are running them, we don't need to clean the line.
Yeah.
After emptying with one product, we can now feed for the other and still continue.
Without worrying about cleaning it and
Yeah,
all.
without worrying about cleaning. However, there are those products that take different raw materials.
Yeah.
For those, the cleaning is is required.
I see.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned when we're dealing with a smaller quantity, when you're dealing with a bigger quantity, which means you are not only serving large-scale farmers.
We are not only dealing with large-scale farmers, we also have the small-scale farmers.
Yeah.
Yes. We serve right from one bag. We have customers who walk in to pick one bag.
Just one bag.
Yes.
And they say, I just want to
then
get...
we have those ones, of course, who are big.
Of course, of
Yes.
course. And they take tons and tons,
Tons and tons,
of,
yes.
of the fertilizer. Now, how much fertilizer, you're good with your quantities. So how much fertilizer would you say one would need for particular acreage? Because someone might have an acre and they would like to, since you do accept walk-ins, someone might have 1 acre and they want to come in and they want to get a bag or two. Would you advise them to do that? Or is there a particular, do you have that specified for your farmers, advising them on how much would do for how much land?
We have the product application details.
Yeah.
Yes, they're highlighted on the packagings, and also we have the flyers. Yes, that we keep issuing out to the customers that come in. However, of course, application rates differ.
Of course.
From crop to
From crop to crop.
Yes.
And that's something, since you have the flyers, you do advise the farmers, oh, you're going to need this much for tomatoes.
Yes.
You're gonna
And
need
for
this
maize,
much.
it's different. For the sweet potatoes, it's different. For the bananas, it's different. Coffee, different. Yes.
I like that you cater to the high-end crops and then the indigenous crops and all.
Every crop is catered for, every crop. Yeah, every crop.
I love that you do that, because now where I'm from, we strictly do coffee and bananas. And then just our neighbors in Busoga, they might want their sweet potatoes, which is not as high-end, you know what I mean?
In other regions.
Exactly. You cater to other regions as well. Speaking of regions, let's look at your markets. How are the markets for you? As you are giving the guys that are loading onto their trucks, do you say, you know what, this business is good, this business is worth it?
For the general market, we have our maize blend, which is the most selling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have coffee. Coffee is also doing well. We have the bananas and the tomatoes. I think those are doing so well.
So well.
They run, like, they're moving out so fast.
And more
Yes.
demand as well.
Yes.
I see.
However, of course, for the big commercial farms, they usually take in tons that outweigh even the general trade. So
Oh, really?
Usually they take in big
So you
volumes,
must
yes.
have a lot just in case the big guy comes and says, you know what, I want to take all the bags.
Usually there is planning that is done.
They do inform you, say we're
Yes.
going to come for this much, so you prepare for it.
Yes, there is planning that is done.
Well, that's fair. So speaking of those very good markets, on a good day, what is your capacity like?
Our plant equipment design capacity is estimated at 50 tons per hour. However, since the machines, the line is automated, but the bagging process is manual, and this slows down the capacity to 30 tons per hour. So in a single shift, we are able to achieve 200 tons. Yes.
So
of
if
products.
it were more automated or with more hands on ground, you think the capacity would have gone,
yes,
would
to
go up?
50 or even more. Yes.
Or even more?
Yeah.
So we get more workers. We don't want to lose the workers, do we now?
But still, we are being able to manage our orders
Yeah.
that come in. Yes, because when the demand is so high, we usually plan for more shifts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
When
in a
the
day,
demand-
you'd have more than one shift. You'd have about
Yes.
2 to 3 shifts.
Yes, when the
to
demand
get,
is
to get
high.
more. Yeah.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So when they talk about the potassium. They need 4 potassium and enough of it at that with a blend of the corn kali. This is exactly what they mean. You have the maize growing all the way to the tip. That is a very rare sight, isn't it? But alas, here in their demo farm, Grainpulse is proving that their product actually works. And that's what counts.
I also want to take this opportunity to explain further the importance of our NPK fertilizers, more especially our maize blend, which is specifically tailored or made for maize. Our maize blend, of course, we need to understand that previously farmers have been using fertilizers in Uganda, which is DAP at planting, 50 kilogram of DAP at planting, and then later 50 kilogram of urea at top dress, that is per acre. However, with our coming into the fertilizer business, we came with fertilizer that is complete, or what we call balanced fertilization, whereby we saw that there is a missing ingredient of potassium, which causes the grains not to feel very well on the cob. However, when we introduced in our NPK fertilizer, which is our maize blend 2018, it enables the maize to feel the cob up to the end of the cob. I also want to take this opportunity to explain to you further that when you don't apply fertilizers as a farmer, there's a lot you miss, because here you can see at the end of it all, the maize, yes, you get some, but because you didn't apply fertilizers, more especially the potassium fertilizer, which helps in cob feeling, the maize did not feel up to the end of the tip, whereby at the end of it all, you miss as a farmer in terms of yield, at the same time also in terms of income, because the more the yield, the more the profit you get as a farmer. As you can see here we have our NPK 2018, which has potassium in it, which helps the grain to fill up to the end of the cob. However, with this, you see, because we didn't apply in potassium, so the grain is not able to fill up to the top, which at the end of it all will affect the yield potential of our maize, because we're expecting to get close to 3.5 tons or 4 tons per acre, which at the end of it all will help to increase the net return in terms of investment to the farmer, and at the end of it all, the farmer gets a lot of profits from the maize. Thank you.
Speaking of experts, we are at YPA with the Managing Director of the Youth Platform Africa.
Yes, very good evening. Thank you for watching NTV Seeds of Gold. My name is Obed Ben, President of the Little Income Earners. If you're a little income earner, loud shouts. I love you so much, and thank you for being little income earner. But we want you to become the big income earner. That is why we are here looking at these golden animals. They are so pretty. Do you know that gold is one of the most precious natural resources?
So I've been told.
But do you know that most people have lost lives and have lost lots of money in the same business that is supposed to give us a lot?
Yeah.
Same applies here. We have goats. We have been doing goats as YPA for the last 18 years. And in only those years, we have managed to be the biggest in East Africa. And what has helped us is the elimination of those funny small mistakes that people do out there. Mistake number one, quote me right, mistake number one is having a small dream for the goat farm.
How do you mean small dream?
Someone is like, I wish I can have 100 goats. That is mistake number one. You have failed already. You will not go anywhere. And no one will tell you about this. How? Have you really finished? This is 75 million we're talking about. 100 goats is just 100 goats. Let's not count them as buildings in Kampala. A goat is a goat. Yes, it is very precious, very profitable, but if you have only 100, you are too small to compete internationally.
Yeah.
You're just going to compete maybe on your LC, not even a sub-county. So, mistake number one is us going into the business without looking at it as a business.
And yet the intention is for it to be a business.
This is a mystery and most people will not tell you. Now, last year, there are people who joined YPA and they joined with, these are my close friends. They joined with 15 goats. And this year they are saying, Embuzi nazimala.
They have 15 goats.
15 goats, and they say, and now I'm looking for bees. I am done with goats. Meanwhile, me, the person they joined or the company they joined, we are looking for 10 million goats. Does it make sense? So, ladies and gentlemen, mistake number one is having a burning desire for just a small thing. You cannot afford to have 100 goats. You cannot afford to have 1,000 goats. We should have as many goats as possible. Do you know that the leading export for Uganda is coffee?
Yes.
And do you know that people who have square miles of coffee?
Yeah.
Now, what if all of us had square miles? Would be the leading exporters of coffee in the whole world.
We should.
But we have, if someone does 50 acres, they have, we are the best.
They were top.
Yesha, ninako na irrigation. You see, so small thinking has kept us behind. The only difference I have between that I have from you is that I am big. I'm big dreaming.
So we should dream big. That's what you're telling us to do.
That's the biggest mistake they do.
Now, beyond fertilizers, Grainpulse is also supporting livestock farmers. But hey, that is something we can discuss some other time. But for tonight, that's all we had for you. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next week, same time, same place. You know, with even better stories. But don't go away, because up next we have the NTV Weekend Edition, and you don't want to miss it because we've got all the facts and the juice. See you next week. Thanks for watching.